Hi, everybody. Welcome you all for the another career guidance session. Today, I'm going to talk about a very interesting career, and I'm going to give you career suggestions based on your abilities and interests too. And today, I'm going to start talking about the creative careers. You know, many people have that creativity. And so what are all the careers that suit? Because one cannot just like that choose a career because it's available or it's nearby the house or your friends are taking or somebody is suggesting. It's not like that. So because you have to choose your career that is going to be your life for the next 40 years, so you have to see whether you're happy, you're going to do that well, you're interested doing that, whether you're going to be successful in that career or not. So when you need success and happiness, you need to choose something which aligns with what is good for you, what is your ability, in what you're very good. So that based on that, today I'm going to talk about a creative career. Many people have that creativity, you know, right from the time the child, you know, the people will start drawing, creating something on the paper, on the wall, wherever they see, you know, they'll be drawing something, but not many are encouraged to do so in future. But many wanted to dwell themselves, immerse themselves into some creation. And here it is for you. Today, I'm going to talk about the web designer career, which is very important and a lot of demand for the same. So web designer career is what I'm going to talk about today. See, the web designers, actually what they do, what is the act or what is the job of them is designers design and create websites. So websites are now very much required for any business you take. You know, people wanted to advertise, reach the audience through the website. So that is one thing which is very much required, and the web developers design and create websites. And web developers work independently as freelancers or with the company teams to create websites, though they have the option to take so. And depending on the job, these professionals may focus on the front end development, which involves designing sites and producing content, or the back end development, which involves writing code to make the website features work. And web developers may also become webmasters for a site, providing maintenance, updates, and troubleshooting when needed. And you can also see that what is this career all about. A web designer may also known by many titles such as a web programmer, web developer, internet developer, and sometimes even the title webmaster is applied to the web designers. And whatever may be the title, you know, the web designers are responsible for day-to-day website creation, and designers are a combination of graphic designers or artists and technical computer programmers. They need to have the knowledge of all. And they work with all of the elements of a website: text, images, graphics, and more, to come up with functional, interesting, and user-friendly website designs. And when we see the difference between the web design and the web development, we can see that the web design deals with the front end of a website, concerning itself with the appearance and the user experience, whereas the web development, on the other hand, deals with the building technical front end and the back end code that informs site function. The web development, actually, there are some differences. People have to know about it. And the web developers may work exclusively on front end code, back end code, or both. And many modern jobs also require overlap into web design. And these professionals may work independently on a freelance basis or with a marketing or IT departments. It all depends upon the demand and the job what they choose. And If you see this coding is the most important thing here, and the hard skills or the specific knowledge and abilities needed for a job vary by industry and position. So coding is one of the primary hard skills of a web developer, and these professionals must understand at least some of the programming languages. What we are going to see now, one is the HTML5, that is a markup language used to provide structure to content on the web, and HTML5 is the most current version of the HTML standard, and web developers use HTML5 to form the fundamental rules of the web pages, and including whether or format to content as paragraphs, headings, list, links, or other element types. And then the PHP is server-side scripting language, functions within the web content management systems, HTML code, web template systems, or web frameworks. Fundamental to backend development, web developers typically use PHP for serving scripting to determine a site's response to user actions. And then the cascading style sheets. Web developers use CSS to control the layout and appearance of elements across multiple pages of a site. And CSS language can influence the presentation of font faces, colors, spacing among elements, and element sizes on a page. And JavaScript. So JavaScript is used on most modern websites and is a cornerstone programming language for the interactive web pages. And web developers use JavaScript to give life to pages as it controls behaviors like dynamic loading. And this language also determines an element's response to user clicks, creating countless interactive possibilities. And then comes the ASP.NET, an open source server-side web application framework developed by Microsoft. ASP.NET provides tools and resources to help web developers build dynamic websites, applications, and services. Though there are many applications frameworks, web developers often rely on ASP.NET as an industry standard option. And next one is Angular.js. Angular.js, another open source industry standard application framework, is much like ASP.NET. Google and its community of users maintain this software, and the web developers often use Angular.js to adjust the front end of a website due to code's foundation in JavaScript. And now let us see the key soft skills required for this profession, because soft skills are very much required in all the careers and people don't take it seriously. And in addition to developing skills in programming languages and other hard skills, web developers should build soft skills to secure and complete their work effectively. Web developers often work remotely and independently, so they must perform quality control for them and manage their own projects. And general web developer skills including multitasking, self-motivating, organizing, and attention to detail is what we are going to see. The multitasking involves observing or attending to several tasks at a time, and it has drawbacks, but multitasking can sometimes increase efficiency for web developers working on multiple projects under tight deadlines. And self-motivation, because of the time-consuming, the project-based nature of web development, web developers cannot afford to procrastinate it if they want to meet the deadlines or find new projects. And organizational skills. Organizational skills go a long way for web developers who have to keep track of multiple tasks and projects, deadlines, budgets, and the workflow planning and attention to detail. Given the intricacy of visual design elements and the programming languages, the web developers must pay painstaking attention to detail to produce professional work. And web developers' daily task depends upon the industry and the position and the project. So developers often find themselves communicating with clients, planning web layouts, composing code to enable site functions, and creating or adding verbal or visual content into the code structure. So web developers also test website functions and take charge of building, maintaining, updating, and troubleshooting websites. So how to become a web developer? Now that we have seen what does a web developer do, and we are really interested to know what they do. The educational requirements for web developers vary with the setting they work in and type of work they do. The requirements range from a high school diploma to a bachelor's degree, and an associate degree in web design or related field is the most common requirement. And however, for more specialized developer positions such as the backend web developers, some employers prefer workers who have at least a bachelor's degree in computer programming, computer science, or a related field. And the web developers need to have a thorough understanding of HTML programming. And many employers also want developers to understand other programming languages such as JavaScript or SQL, and have knowledge of multimedia publishing tools such as Flash. So throughout their career, web developers must keep up to date on new tools and the computer languages. That is quite mandatory for all the careers. And some employers prefer web developers who have both a computer degree and coursework in graphic design, especially if the developer will be heavily involved in the website's visual appearance. And then important qualities of web developers: concentration. That's very, very important for any creation. Web developers must sit in a computer and write detailed code for long periods. And the creativity, web developers often are involved in designing the appearance of a website and must make sure that it is appealing as well as functional. And then customer service skills. Webmasters have to respond politely and correctly to user questions and requests. And detail-oriented web developers need to have an eye for detail, because a minor error in coding could cause an entire web page to stop working. So it's a very, very important and responsible job. The job prospects for web developers, the job opportunities for web developers are expected to be very good. And those with the knowledge of multiple programming languages and digital multimedia tools such as Flash and Photoshop will have the best opportunities. And the careers related to web developers, if you see, computer and information system manager. So computer and information system manager, often called information technology managers or the IT project managers, plan, coordinate, and direct computer related activities in any organization. And they help determine the information technology goals of an organization and are responsible for implementing computer systems to meet these goals. And then the computer programmers. Computer programmers write and test code that allows computer applications and software programs to function properly. And they turn the program designs created by the software developers and engineers into instructions that a computer can follow. And then the computer support specialist. They provide help and advice to computer users and organizations, and these specialists either support computer networks or they provide technical assistance directly to computer users. Then the computer scientist or the computer system analyst, and sometimes called as system architects, study an organization's current computer systems and procedures and design solutions to help the organization operate more efficiently and effectively. And they bring business and information technology together by understanding the needs and limitations of both. Then the database administration. They use specialized software to store and organize data such as financial information and customer shipping records. And they make sure that the data are available to users and secure from unauthorized access. And graphic designers, they create visual concepts using computer software or by hand to communicate ideas that inspire, inform, and captivate customers and consumers. And no, they develop the overall layout and production design for various applications such as advertisements, brochures, magazines, and corporate reports. And then the information security analysts. The information security analysts plan and carry out security measures to protect an organization's computer networks and systems, and their responsibilities are continually expanding as the number of cyber attack increases. And then the multimedia artists and animators, they create animation and visual effects for television, movies, video games, and other forms of media. And then the software developers, they are creative minds behind programs, computer programs, and some develop the applications that allow people to do specific tasks on a computer or another device. Others develop the underlying systems that run the devices or that control networks. And these are some of the industries with the highest level of employment of web developers. If you see the computer systems design and related services, they take nearly 27,000 requirements of employees. Other information services, 8,000 plus. Management, scientific and technical consulting services, 7,000 plus. Management and companies and enterprises, 6,000 plus. And advertising, public relations and related services, 6,000 plus. And industries with the highest concentration of employment of the web developers is advertising, public relation related services, computer system design and related services, specialized design services, data processing, hosting, and related services. So one can also work as a freelancer. So freelancing features many advantages, including flexibility in schedule and location, and greater freedom in choosing their projects and experimenting in their work. So depending on their specialty, freelancers may not need as much formal schooling. They can learn new skills on a practical as needed basis instead of investing large amounts of time and money in education before getting started. And that's the end of my presentation about the web developers. I hope the people who would like to take up a creative job, who would like to be always do something new and create something, and also a futuristic job, you can choose this web developer job. Stay blessed. Thank you.